Clubhouse allows so much practice to be going through on this map, and especially when you're coming off a 7-0, NetShoes Miners has their work cut out for them.
All right, the fist bumps are all going around, and we're going to be heading into the first map of today, Oregon, with Jonah and Flynn.
Thank you, Ginny. We dive into Oregon, where Los and NetShoes Miners get a chance, well, to do what they've been looking to do for quite some time. Put themselves on a plane to Atlanta to fight on the international stage. Both of these teams have had quite the journey through this last chance qualifier, through the open qualifier even, to get to this point. And this is for all the marbles. The final team, the fourth team to represent Brazil at the major, is one of these two teams we have in front of us. Either Los or NetShoes Miners are going all the way. Flynn, I know the desk talked a little bit about their thoughts and gave us an idea of what to expect, but I think I got to put you on the spot here and ask, who do you think is going to take this one?
Okay, yeah, you're definitely putting me on the spot here. All right. I honestly, I had this as a coin flip heading into today. If gun to the earth, you have to pick one of these teams to win, I'm going to take Los, just given their calendar as a whole in 2023. I think the core of NetShoes Miners has definitely picked up their play in this LCQ, but just the scope of the sample size for Los so far this year, I would have to, again, gun to the earth to save humanity. I'm going to pick Los.
That works. That works for me. And I think on paper, that's probably the most reasonable choice. I mean, you look at Miners, a team who probably had fewer expectations coming into this LCQ, but have been defying those expectations left and right. They've kind of been playing better and better, almost ramping up their skill, their play almost through these last few days. And, well, it's been a pleasure to watch. The question is, can that continue here on Oregon, the equalizer map of all equalizers, where both of these teams are going to feel comfortable, they're going to feel confident. I imagine they're both going to come out swinging. You could say, though, that on map number one, Miners starting out on the defense, this could go a long way.
Absolutely. I think the one thing that sticks out, like Connor said on the desk, 7-0 the last time these two teams, and it wasn't that long ago, it was like a week and a half ago in the open qual portion to get to this decider side of the LCQ. On this map is between these two teams, and Los absolutely obliterated NetShoes Miners off of Oregon 7-0. So I'm not quite sure if there's as much of an advantage here for NetShoes Miners being on the defense as, hey man, a 7-0 is a 7-0. You had to win on both sides of the game to accomplish that. So I think to start things off here, you're in a more favorable position statistically, but that most recent result is surely going to be ringing in the back of the minds of the NetShoes Miners players, and I think that's the obvious choice for Los to make this the pick for map number one.
Well, we'll find out here, as I think Miners, they're looking to force the issue early. You've got Levy really looking to make a move. You see him interested in going for this, well, not spawn peek, but at least aggressive window peek here in T2. But now that he's been spotted, well, he is in a load of trouble, at least theoretically. Now that Los have pinned him down, all they've got to do is step up and deal with that. The one thing they may not know exists is Neskin around the other side, trying to provide some coverage on the crossfire. Levy as well has 2 impacts. He could try to work his way through attic and escape if the situation arises. For now, he will go further up into tower, however, trying to delay time even further.
Having a stroke? Yeah. So Neskin just missed dash walking down Green Hall towards kitchen. Unfortunate timing there for Neskin as he's made his way to those stage stairs, and yet he was unable to catch the Nomad on the rotation to get the opener. But I mean, for this roam right now to have killed half the round, not sacrificed any utility and not sacrificed any health, and now doing significant damage to Dots, the flashbangs will ring out and Dots on the rappel in will finally grab Levy, but at what cost? The Osa's down to about 40 health, and so much time has been taken off the board here from the attack, and they have barely progressed beyond T3. Dash made his way into kitchen, like I said, but there goes Neskin dropping dots. That's the diffuser surrendered by the stage as well. Neskin in a good spot here to continue the rampage. Solo holding inside a meeting will take 2 down with him before he goes. Beautiful, beautiful roam there for Neskin and for Levy.
As a whole, they're setting themselves up so well for these last 45 seconds. Now Rose backs against the wall for 40 seconds to make a full rotation and turn their attention towards the site, a place that they have made very little progress on up to this point. We've got someone like Mitty keeping a watchful eye on that position. A couple of missed shots, though, will give Los a chance to move forward. Is it enough? 20 seconds. They have to clear through freezer, Kiba barriers, a crossfire established. The flashes will allow them to creep their way up towards the doorway. Dash will get that kill onto Basetto. This one's not over quite yet, but they need to do so much and have so little time. STK, last player standing, now has to get active. Diffuser going down, but it's Maya on the coverage that will start things off well for Los. A tough start in the round, but a strong finish.
Yeah, this is, again, what we were seeing out of the Netshoes Miners game yesterday, and for Los, both of them, honestly, having some difficulties when it comes to progressing throughout the round, but once that overwhelming surge of force came onto the bomb site, the actual execute into the objective itself, it worked out pretty good. Playing the trades really well in a 3v2 there, and honestly, for Los, an excellent recovery, because like I said, Neskin and Levy able to kill so much time and take 2 attackers with them, and it seemed like the Osa was integral to the plan, and Dotsy can be bringing it out again to at least start out round number 2. The Osa seems to be part of the core game plan for Los, and losing that on the roam early, it's not a good start for the attack, but 45 seconds in a 3v3, they're able to adapt, they're able to recognize the situation, and make the necessary corrections to be able to assault the bomb site and come away with the victory. And like I said, it was a 7-0 for Los against Netshoes Miners the last time these two teams played on this map. It's 1-0 for Los. I don't imagine we're going to see either team go on a bit of a run like that this time. This is the grand finals, map number 1 of the LCQ. Whoever comes away with the win in this series is going to Atlanta. So much on the line, and I think the way that Neskin and Levy have been playing, as long as the rest of the team step up and join them, it should be a very intense back and forth.
Round number 1, as far as the roam was concerned for Miners, probably went as best as it could have possibly gone. Right? Aside from the fact that they did lose 2 bodies eventually, they wasted more than 2 minutes of early round and took 2 bodies off the board. The tough part for Miners is that if they're able to do something like that and they're still not able to piece together a round win, that is when questions are going to start to get raised about this team, and maybe more concerns are going to come to the forefront. For now, we'll wait and see if that issue pops up again. It is clear that they are going for another roam, another extension. You've got someone like Neskin, who is once again playing down below, a bit more forward, not extremely aggressively, mind you, but still trying to take fights when those opportunities arise. That could happen sooner rather than later, because as we can see now, we are going to have Los go for a bit of a workaround here if they want to get this denial off the wall. They'll have to find a way to deal with that mute jammer. They'll take the time to rotate down below into Classroom and deal with it from outside. That's still some time that's taken off the clock, and Neskin, just you wait. He's looking for an opportunity to pop on up.
You can see there was one X-Kairos pellet going off on the wall, and I think the attacking team shot it because cameraman thought there's no point in doing that. They're just going to shoot our legs as soon as we try and breach anything else. The impact trick would have been devastating. So they get a can opener onto the wall, and SDK unable to impact trick it. Tries to play close to the breach, but they'll be diving on in as of yet. Los right now, completely ignoring the roam like he talked about that was downstairs. The vault from the Gemini will establish SDK's new position toward the top of White Stairs. Having some difficulty lobbing the magnets towards Trophy Door like he wants to, and the visual from Loban towards the big window. Maya with one onto Levy, and the tap fires ring out from Loban. He's got a lot of ammo still left in that LMG. Seeing the resurgence of Finka, SDK has had to maneuver across the bomb site to get to a position of safety now inside of the kid's doorway. A Neskin holding out for anyone entering, but as he turns around, he's able to get one, but there goes the prone peek from Cameraman down to the 4v2, making a 4v1, and SDK is the last man standing. The collapse into the bomb site, perfect for Los, and it's an early 2-0 lead.
On a map like Oregon, when defense is so strong, we like to say that attack is where the difference will be made. That is how you're going to set yourself apart from your opponents. If you can piece together successful attacks, and if you can do it on more than just one fluke round, on more than just those tertiary objectives, and I think Los are making it very clear that they know exactly what they got themselves into. 2-0 right now, a dominant second round attack. It started off simply with a good kill from Maya and just never slowed down at all. Relentless pressure once they got that master wall open. It did take them a few minutes to gather themselves, deal with that utility, but once they did, I mean, not to say it was game over, but it really felt like the round just kept on getting into Los's favor, and there was nothing Miners could do to clap back. That's the second time that Levy has been the opening kill here. Something that he's going to want to keep an eye on, especially now that we go back to basement, and it does look like that tower position is going to be interesting him again.
One notable omission that we've seen as a mainstay throughout most of Stage 2 is the Ying ban on the attacking side. There's no Ying ban, so Dot says, well, that's free game, I'm going to take it. Really onto the Ying. We've seen quite the myriad of operators coming out from Los as well. We'll see that unique operator stat at the end of each map, and I imagine Los's number is going to be relatively high in comparison to what Netshoes Miners have been bringing out, seeming pretty static with their roster of operators thus far. I think the Ying as well, you've only really got the Wamai near the box to be able to hold things out. You've got Jaeger ADS deeper into towards elbow. I think right now, this is still a very good spot with the amount of burn. 12 flashes that the attacking side of Los have brought to be able to burn magnets and ADSs to facilitate those Ying Candelas being a nuisance and an impediment towards being able to defend the bomb site when that rush comes out. We've seen that from Los. A couple minutes in the early round. Takes a minute to get going and takes a minute to get set up the way they want to. But once they are flooding into the bomb site, their trades are perfect. It seems like their comms are perfect as well. They know where everyone is at every moment on that execute. It's been going very well through 2 rounds now.
But this first 90 seconds, as before, needs to be dedicated to tracking down any roamers who might be positioned away from the site. It looks like in this case, the only one who was slightly extended was Neskin. He has all but retreated back towards the safety of the basement. That means that instead of having about 40 seconds and Los are finally looking towards the site, they're going to begin to pressure things at the 90-second mark. So very much more efficient than last time. But it also means that Miners are going to have a full force of Turtle defenders down below when the time comes. As I say that, Baseto will be the first to fall. The smoke, no less, the first to go down for Miners is not a good sign.
No, Baseto being the opener, especially exposing himself to outside of bunker as well to the Ying of Dots. Just carry the diffuser and he's dropped the Ying down to about 40 HP, but it's just not an equal trade. Time starts to tick away from Los, but again, that collapse has been so effective, and here come the Candelas from Dots being sent in towards the back of the stage hatch. I imagine he's going to let those ring out and then go for the drop, but no, it's a bait. He's actually rotating all the way over back to blue. I'm just watching his silhouette through the wall as we're watching Maya dart back and forth and try to establish an angle onto a player inside of Laundry. There go the Candelas, but Midi able to see straight through the flashes. Levy joining in the fun as well and backing off as Leskin takes damage. But there goes Cameraman now. He's recovered the diffuser and a flashbang comes out and the plant is going down from Cameraman. Midi rushing through the Laundry, rotate, being cut down by the Yana. But the plant, it is completed. Springing on up as Cameraman, once again saving the round. Now it's Neskin alone in a 1v2. Cameraman low on health. You can see both the remaining attackers evacuating towards the freezer hallway. And there's a Gemini clone out right now. He'll establish the positioning of Neskin. There it goes. No time here for Neskin to fool around. He has to take an engagement and possibly even bait out the second one. Trying to work his way towards the diffuser, but nobody on the side of Los will reveal themselves until Maya drops in for the finishing blow, and it's 3 straight attacking rounds on Oregon for Los.
And both attacks on basement looked eerily similar and troubling for Miners that they weren't able to shut it down again. It's never down to a single player or a single position or a single mistake. But we saw the same problem happen for Midi 2 basement defenses in a row, holding that position by the washing machines in laundry, in that close corner on the rotate. Several times where he's had a chance to take the fight with Freezer. He's seen 1, if not 2 players in that position, a chance to get a couple of kills, and simply missing the shots. It's not something we say a lot at this level with everyone in this lobby so incredibly mechanically skilled. But sometimes, right, first 3 rounds, you're still getting warmed up, and a couple of missed opportunities that so far, Midi is definitely going to be looking back on with some regret. Not to say that it would have completely changed the course of the round, but had Maya been denied on the coverage, maybe he would have been able to pop up and kill the planter. Maybe he would have been able to swing around the other side and stop that attack in its tracks. Hard to say. Of course, we know that Miners, they're going to go back to the drawing board here. They're going to try to regroup. The tack timeout taken, and basement, the site of choice once again.
Yeah, Miners going back downstairs for the 3rd time out of 4 rounds is... It's a choice. I think, honestly, this is one of the most defensible bomb sites on the planet in Rainbow Six Siege, so if you can't figure this out, you are definitely in some trouble. Getting it in order early on here would be a good idea. It's also, if they are able to win this, would open it up for them to be the last round of the first half as well. Should they win it, they'll have to not play it for 2 rounds and then come back to it. So, I understand the strategy behind it. It just looks a little awkward running it back for a 3rd time across 4 rounds. Still got the Jaeger on my double up combo, but no more Ying coming out this time on the side of the attack. We're going back to the Osa with dots. Cameraman seemingly loving the Capital on this map so far as well. Again, real problem here for Netshoes Miners is, again, exposing themselves earlier on in the rounds. You see Seto in the last round being the opening death as in smoke with 3 toxic babes in the pocket. Not a good position to be in, and again, that can be a very strong force, those toxic babes in terms of area denial and damage. Being able to ring out Levy again going from these peaks. You can see Levy and Neskin trying to go for the roam. They're not going to stay as steadfast this time. Both bailing out within the first 40 seconds, unable to take anything with them. Unable to accomplish a whole lot in those roams either. Their utility already dispersed across the bomb site. They were in a position to risk it, try and take some attackers with them. But we saw that in the first round where they were able to have a successful roam, take a couple lives with them. The rest of the team on site wasn't able to follow up.
So far, round 4 feeling a lot like the previous 3 rounds in terms of the overall pacing for Los. Seem pretty comfortable with moving in at this rate. Now that they have this top floor control, that's when these hatches are going to start to pop open as well. Relying solely on the hard breaching potential that Cameraman has brought to the table here. It's not the most typical choice on a basement site where Hibana is almost always picked in a situation like this. Instead, it's going to be the secondary can openers that Los are going to rely on. Just 2 of them. Both of them now placed and detonated. This means that Los will have to be a bit more careful with exactly what position they commit to. They won't have many fallback options if something were to go awry. They set up the Osa shield down and Freezer, but Dots will take a little heat from that long angle by the laundry rotate. Early progress again for Los. This is where Miners need to hold their ground.
You see, they're going to need to reshuffle some positionings here. Levy's the only one with impact. There goes the first one. As I say that, perfect timing for Levy. Destroys the shield at the bottom of the laundry stairs and decapitates Dots. It's again the man with the diffuser, so Cameraman will have to pick it up in his stead. The air jab's being placed out, though, to try and prevent anyone from being able to rotate in through the laundry rotates from supply. Cameraman waiting to launch out those asphyxiating bolts. The flashbang's being caught by the magnets. Basetto could have been blinded by that, but we duck out just in time to not have to see it ourselves, taking damage and dealing with the shotgun. But Dash going crazy with the ARX. Missed shots from Basetto, and now the flood into the freezer hallway. STK has his cover. Dash hits the floor, but here goes Maya, going absolutely nuclear, leaving Neskin alone as he's trying to push towards Freezer. The plant once again going down from Cameraman, and Maya, the Finka inside of Freezer, putting the team on his back.
without question. Maya doing it all in the end there. It started with dots. It started with the Nomad popping up and doing so much. Rather, it was Dash, I think, who got those 2 openers in that mid round. But when he went down, Maya had to pick up the slack. And oh boy, did he ever. 3 kills in that round. 8-0 right now, I believe, for Maya. There it is, 8-0-2. Absolutely ridiculous to be 4 rounds in and to have that stat line boasting so far. It is all going Los's way, and Miners, that looked like their best defense yet, but Los still managed to pull that one out. I mean, we saw someone like Basetto, who was in a perfect position in Freezer. He had the shotgun for the close range gunfight to deny the double swing, and he would have been able to do that had Dash not gotten 2 kills back-to-back over on that laundry side and forced Basetto to turn his attention towards the back, right? It's those little things that when one player finds some success, someone else on the defense is going to have to turn their attention to you and try to deal with it. And Los, I mean, it's just like they have so many lethal weapons on this team right now, and they are clicking and melding in a way that Netshoes Miners just cannot seem to comprehend.
Oh, and for Miners, unfortunately, unsuccessful downstairs 3 times out of 4 rounds. Unsuccessful upstairs on their only attempt, so they will turn their attention towards the tertiary bomb site of Kitchen and Meaden. Try and grab some kind of momentum, grab some kind of traction in this match. As I did talk about it, Connor talked about it on the desk as well, a 7-0 the last time these 2 teams played on this map. I didn't think we'd be approaching similar territory, yet here we are with Los up 4-0 on the attacking side of Oregon, which statistically would not be the more favored side. Here the breach going up onto the generator wall from Closet. Impact's coming out from Levy. He's going to try and rotate in through Attic. This position to be held is going to be crucial for the defense to make sure there's no stage push coming. We've seen so much Osa coming out from the Los team on the attacking side. You would think it would be integral to this push, but no such. Osa coming out. Thatcher and the Ace and the Ash now. Big swap up in terms of operators for Los's attack, and seems like a swap up in the ideology as well. They seem to be avoiding as much of the roam topside as possible, and it's working out for them as Dots will get 1. Basetto on the swing will headshot 1 and look for more, but as he rushes in to clean up his kill, he will be dropped. You're going to need, I think, an adrenal surge here to revive Dash. Levy now trying to push his way down the tower stairs. He's got the Ace holding on the stage stairwell as well. He nearly has perfect purview, but there goes the swing again. Cameraman having a lights out, turn back the clock performance. And the revive still has not happened until just this moment. Dash will be revived by the adrenal surge. And a 4v3 turns into a 2v3. SDK playing close on meeting split though. Turns for 1, turns for 2, looking for all 3. Will leave Cameraman alone in the 1v2 with the diffuser surrendered just outside of split. You can see the swing about to come from STK. Should be hearing him drop off the stage, and Cameraman again trying to bait out a 1v1. Does not want to walk into the midst of crossfire. There's the first 1v1, but the secondary swing and the combination from Midi. They will hit the shot, and there goes Netshoes Miners getting their first round.
They finally get on the board, and they do it in explosive fashion. I mean, talk about a back and forth round. It started with Basetto hitting the play that it looked like could end the round for Los right there. Then Los managed to shut it down, and then it's going to have to be someone else from Miners to step up. It was STK who saved the day. It was him who put himself in the same corner that Basetto was in earlier in the round. The same corner, the same position that gave Los trouble. I suppose they figured that there's no chance somebody else could be in that corner, right? So they failed to check it, and it got them into a lot of trouble. But oh boy, a scary one for both teams. Nearly slipped away from Miners there, as it felt like every engagement they took ended up going the way of Los. Just little things kept going Los's way, but Miners managed to pull it out with the big SDK play. And they take round 5, a chance to get out of this half with at least 2 rounds now staring them in the face.
Well, this is more of the performance we were expecting to see from Netshoes Miners, that resilience that we've seen all throughout the last chance qualifier so far, and seemingly a resurgence in the play of Neskin and Levy, and they certainly have been pulling their weight, and the rest of the team now showing the same kind of form. And for Los, you've already won the first half, but you really do want to put an exclamation point on it. Netshoes Miners are 0 for 1 upstairs. for 3 downstairs, will take the slightly better odds of heading topside to try and close out the first half. I understand that from the Netshoes Miners' perspective of downstairs has not gone well. This flood into the bomb site, we cannot repel it. It was a similar story upstairs. The collapse from the attic and through the generator breach from inside a closet, the impact tricking failing, and it looks like we're avoiding an impact trick this time, even though the same holes are put in place. Eskin, though, will be droned inside of meeting, so we've got a little bit more of a roam contingent to worry about here if we're on the side of Los. But their attacks so far really just have not seemed all that interested in going for a roam clear. They don't worry about maintaining as much of the map as possible. Just going direct to site. The Levy will start things off onto Loban inside of attic.
Levy so early, the way he gets involved in these gunfights. 2-2 so far in terms of the entry duels. Hasn't worked in some moments, but something like this could be the exact ingredient that Miners were hoping to find in order to get themselves a second defensive win. We'll see. 90 seconds remain here, so this is about when Cameraman is going to look to open that closet wall. He's got those Selmas prepped and ready. Just waiting for the moment to strike, waiting for the support from Dots. He will get it. That wall will now be opened without interruption. This is where Dots is now going to find that Osa shield positioning. Only one remaining. Place it right in front of the breach, giving himself a nice angle onto that attic doorway. The question is, can STK manage to circumvent that? Can Neskin go for this flank? 2 positions that Los are going to have to get quite aware of here very soon. Midi down below as well. C4 could be thrown up through that breach. Los, they're going to need to get a move on soon because all of these little positions that Miners are holding, it could be very powerful.
Yeah, you can see the problem with leaving those players downstairs. They can have a dastardly impact on the round. The Nitro Cell finally comes up from Midi. There goes the Kiba barriers blocking out progression into the into the closet, and there goes SDK again, marching into action. It's like Dash taking damage from down below outside of the big window as well, and make it a flawless round for Netshoes Miners, as ignoring the roam doesn't pay off this time around for Los, and Netshoes Miners able to stack back-to-back rounds to end the first half.
Back-to-back rounds. They start to recover a little bit here. That one particularly decisive. Just about everything went their way. Not only with the gunfights, but just with the utility, their positioning. That time, they had it all. And had we seen that kind of defense from the start, I think this would be a very different ballgame.
Well, downstairs we go for Los, and we'll see if they can put on a clinic and demonstrate the performance that is typical downstairs on an Oregon defense. I think right now for Netshoes Miners, the task in front of them, while not impossible, does look difficult. Being able to also win an attacking half on Oregon. We call back to it a few times already, but I will mention probably a couple more times, to be honest. The 7-0, the last time these two teams played against each other on this map, just about a week and a half ago. Honestly, I think right now for Los, you're in the driver's seat and you have the opportunity to kind of play this one a little safe, but we saw it yesterday with Los' performance as well against the Vivo Keydstars main roster that they are no stranger to be taking a chance and getting aggressive early on the round to try and clamp things down early. We saw it work. We saw it not work for them as well in a handful of rounds that led them into some of those overtime maps. Levy's going to start things off with the Gara hook immediately into T3. He's going to have to contend with an attic roam and the reinforcements. This is quite the roam clear coming out from Netshoes Miners to start things off, and the first obstacle appears to be Maya playing down by stage, with Dots supporting from the tower stairs. Seems like Levy is on his own on this portion of the clear. The rest of the Netshoes Miners attack is going for the clear elsewhere, and will clear Loban off the map immediately once again.
Maya's got to be real careful here. Doesn't want to let another kill go Miners' way. Playing this forward position as the Wamai, not the most typical thing ever, especially when he can find himself in a death trap here, but Cameraman, he's the one who springs the trap. He pops up on STK, just had no idea he was coming. That now sets Los up for a bit more success now that they've equalized, but still a good bit of work to do.
Oh, you can see Mitty now pushing his way in towards stage, having to contend with the potential flank up those tower stairs, and clearing out the attic hold was integral to this position for NetShoes Miners to be able to feel comfortable in holding down the meeting and be able to accomplish their goals of reaching towards the objective. The 4v4 here, we're stagnating a little bit. The mirrors will get popped open from up above the meeting hatch. But everyone for NetShoes Miners right now, they don't really have a clear objective at hand. A lot of stacking around the tower stairs, but nobody outside of blue right now, which facilitates very free and easy rotations through elbow, through blue. So much real estate being afforded to the defense of Los right now that there's no pressure being applied to them. They have freedom to roam, they have freedom to move, and this is looking like a very precarious situation for NetShoes Miners. Well, Levy, last man standing inside of the freezers, trying to pull out a G8 and win this alone in the 1v3, but it will not happen. Dots will shut him down with the ITA on the Solus. Just like that, it's Los quickly with a 5-2 lead.
That's a good adjustment there in the end. It looked like for a moment Miners were going to pop in and take that, but Dots on the swing there took care of two really fast, and all of a sudden the hopes that Miners had started to build in that early round just began to fall to pieces. Again, it was a pretty well-timed push. They had a good bit of time remaining. They went into that execute with even man count. When it came down to it, it was Los who shut it down. And like you said, Flynn, 5-2 right now. They're sitting pretty, especially since they're on the defensive side. They have a lot of cushion to work with here.
Yeah, and I think for this meeting and kitchen defense to come out from Los after winning the first round downstairs, they're not feeling the heat, not feeling the pressure to immediately go topside, try and put this thing on match point. You can certainly do it here, and would also be a bit of a statement being made winning on the kitchen and dining defense, or the kitchen and meeting defense, sorry. This is what we saw from NetShoes Miners as well in terms of their ability to get back into the game. They were victorious on this site for their first round of the map and kind of set them on a course to be able to win upstairs as well. So Los going to replicate some of that magic here in the second half and ice this thing at a 7-2 scoreline. See Los lose 7-2 on Consulate yesterday in the semifinals. They still come away with 2 overtime wins. I think for NetShoes Miners, they're also in a position where resilience is going to have to show up much earlier this time around. You do not want to be dropping the first map in this best of 3. So much on the line. The peaks coming out from the defensive Los from T3 as well. Open playing around the bottom of the laundry stairs as well. This is going to be very challenging for the attack to be able to entry into the building with how much aggression is being demonstrated by Los, trying to repel any such entry across the entirety of the map.
This is the playstyle that allowed Miners to get that opening kill in the previous round, but at the end of the day, it is something that can delay a ton of time off the clock, and just the way that Los have been playing this and the success they've had in every engagement, this is something that could quickly take this attack and make it, well, I would say, just pretty much nothing. Basetto, he'll be able to collect one here, and Neskin at the same time will shut down Maya, and that is going to go a long way into making this Miners attack more successful. It's certainly going to make them feel pretty good now, considering how much time they have remaining, how many bodies they have remaining. Doesn't really matter that they haven't dealt with Dots just yet, because there are only 2 other bodies near to the site. Now, Midi has been taken care of, and Loven is looking to collect on another. Basetto nearly winning in that engagement, but both players so low right now. They're going to have to play together. Basetto feeling the pressure from both sides. Talk about an extension that refuses to give up any ground. Neskin will finally deal with cameraman. Loben will not stay alive much longer. Last is Dots. Again, the site pretty exposed right now, but Dots will work his way back into position to see what he can do against 3.
There's an attacker directly in front of him, and there was Neskin able to drop Dots, and again, a good response from cameraman, who seems to be turning back the clock with every passing game in this last chance qualifier, and yet it wasn't enough to propel Los to match point. They will lose downstairs on the main floor in meeting and kitchen, like you said, very vacant off the bomb site, just leaving cameraman there alone to try and survive, and A lot of those aggressive plays, a lot of those swings off the bomb site, not turning out well for Los. They'll turn their attention topside to go upstairs, try and put us on match point. And again, after the completion of this round, regardless of if it's a win or a loss, they will be afforded the opportunity to head back down to the basement. But again, in a very good position right now for Los on the defensive side of Oregon. Try and close things out in a hurry, don't waste too much time on your own map pick, and send us off to border with a nice scoreline, not dropping too many rounds to Netshoes Miners.
Clearly indicative of the improvements that Miners have been making over the last few days. This is not the 7-0 that it once was. Netshoes Miners are putting up a fight here. And while it may have felt like this one was over 4 rounds in, it is a very different story that Miners, rather than being 4 rounds down, are only 2 rounds away from equalizing. And rather than having nothing on the board, well, they have 3 rounds over the last few. Much better place to be, and they're finally starting to win a couple of these engagements. You've got someone like Neskin, who's really been heating up, but really everyone, STK, Midi, Levy, everyone really finding their stride here. And Basetto, you could argue, not contributing a ton in terms of the sheer kills, but the 2 kills that he has found, and the pressure and the support he's been able to provide here on the Habana here, for example, definitely something worth talking about. See if they can make that work again. They're going to have to do a bit more themselves this time, though, of course, Flynn, because instead of having a very forward, in-your-face defense, Los have a bit of an extension down below, but not quite as heavy of one as last time.
This extension's getting collapsed on, though. Dash able to avoid the launch of the frag grenade, cut through Midi with the DMR, play ring around the Rosie of the kitchen island, and grab another one onto STK. The Roam was being pinched from either side, a contingent from Small Tower and Big Tower, both collapsing onto the kitchen Roam. Neither of them walk away. 5v3 advantage now and a 5-3 scoreline for Los in the top 4 defense, where a lot of the damage has been done off the bomb site. Though as I say that, here come frag grenades flying up from the floorboards, and Dash is going to get re-engaged downstairs. Now pick and response onto cameraman. Levy will get one onto the bomb site, but here comes Dash. That DMR reigning supreme on the round. 3 so far, looking for even more. Levy's trapped inside a trophy, tries to fall off, but will fall at the hands of Maya. It's just Neskin remaining. Trying to work his way up the armory stairs with 3 to find. Dash still on the hunt with that MK14, and will turn the corner at the top of the stairs. A good reaction from Neskin will save his life momentarily, whipping out the frag grenade in response. As you can see, Dash, he might be overextending himself slightly, but he certainly doesn't think so. 4 on the round for Dash. A beautiful demonstration of the ability to roam downstairs and keep yourself alive. From Los, it's map point.
And I would say great roam overall, great extension, great teamwork, but I mean, that's giving them even too much credit. It was just Dash with 4. The man who could not be tracked down below. He just kept on tearing through that attack, and he did not give them an inch. Like you said, Flynn, a textbook bottom floor hold, and really just running and gunning and it working to perfection. I mean, at the end of the day, that will work sometimes. And if you're feeling yourself, if you're hitting those shots, you might as well just keep on rolling through. And we saw it after he found those 3. He was on the hunt for the 5. He wanted all of those kills. Maya eventually denied that by picking up the 4th out of the 5th kill, but Dash closed it out with a quad, and Miners just could not piece it all together. Funny, the round that Los run not quite heavy of an extension, they only put 2 players down below instead of, well, everyone trying to hunt down that attack. Ironically, it's the round where they do much better on the roam and do way more damage with it.
That just kind of shows you Dash's power downstairs, his ability to hold that position, because that was a nightmare of a situation. He did have cameraman for support over towards dining, but it really was just the Dash show inside of kitchen, able to thread the needle between the 2 opposing forces on either side of him, coming at him, the pinch. I thought it was a really well-designed attack from Netshoes Miners, being able to collapse towards kitchen through the green hall and small tower at the same time. Yet, where there's a will, there's a way, and Dash showing his maneuverability and so showing his elusiveness in that round. He'll look to do the same here to try and close out Oregon. Map number 1. This was Los's map pick. It's not quite the end of the world here for Netshoes Miners. still are in a position to head to their map pick of Border up next, and should we need it, Chalet is the decider. We've seen a lot of Chalet gameplay coming out from Netshoes Miners in this last chance qualifier thus far. So if you're Netshoes Miners, you're not feeling too down on yourself, given the scoreline and given the performance of Los. You do need to kick into a little bit of a higher gear starting, if not now, starting on map number 2 of your map pick of Border.
Whatever they can do to get some momentum heading into that second map will be helpful regardless if they take the win here. Maybe 1 or 2 more rounds could serve to do exactly that. We know Border is aggressive, it's explosive, it's frag heavy. There are going to be a lot of early gunfights that these teams are going to have to take. If you can polish up that mechanical skill, if you can get warmed up, you can get ready to go, then hey, maybe Border's going to go your way regardless of how prepared you are to go to that territory in this LCQ final. We'll see. We will see. Los, 1 round away, like we've said, from closing out this first map, doing it on a very defendable objective down below, and one that they won the first time that they took up this mantle. Candelas will come in the first round of pressure, now building for Miners as they turn their attention towards an early execute.
Oh my god, Dash with the M590 snipe, but everyone else on the team for Los dropping like flies. It's Dots and Cameraman to try and save the round. The plant going down right beside the laundry. Rotate, the plant gets completed, but Basetta will be down. In response, drops Cameraman, and another one will be felled momentarily by the 416. But STK has the cover from Freezer. Netshoes Miners pulling out another impressive attacking round, converting it into a victory on round number 10. They're forcing us to go a little bit deeper than we all thought it was going to be just a few rounds ago.
And yeah, we could see this one go all the way for sure if Miners can keep putting together rounds like that. Rounds that maybe don't start off the best, and then once they turn their eye towards the sight, they just kind of make it work. That one in particular, they did not dilly-dally, I suppose you could say. They didn't waste a single second. Once they saw that they had a chance to execute, they didn't feel like they had to wait until the obligatory last 20 seconds on the clock to make their push. They had done their job, they saw an opening, and so with about 50, even 60 seconds left, that's when they began to make the first move. They opened it up in Freezer, getting a nice long-range kill there, and that was their go sign. That was when they said, all right, let's execute. And they made the move and they made it work. Still 2 rounds to go to send overtime if we are going to see that, but a good round that is certainly going to bring some hope back to this team, and to anyone rooting for Miners, they are not out of this map just yet.
No, and we saw the Ying come out from Los on their attacks, and it didn't have as much impact in their attacking side as the Ying had for Netshoes Miners. They're collapsing to the bomb site, compounded with difficulty because of those Candelas, obscuring the vision of everyone on the bomb site. I haven't seen a complete turn here from Los. We did have a slight operator swap up. You've got Loban on the Warden, and you've got Cameraman on the Wamai, but no Jaeger coming out in response to be able to catch those Candelas. Again, the amount of burn that was being brought by Los on their attack could dissuade Los from believing that they could bring enough ADSs and enough magnets to stop the amount of burn, but it really isn't on the side of Netshoes Miners. Just 3 stuns and 2 smokes that you're probably going to want to use, and Candela's being utilized, 2 of them. Inside of Big Tower, the entry into T1, there's nobody here. It's just a waste of utility to allow the entry, and Dot's waiting for the push, prone at the pillar entrance. No one will come away worse for wear in that engagement. Both sides missing some crucial shots there to find the opener. Again, on map point, on a knife's edge. These are the biggest stakes possible on this map so far, and Levy and Dots both swinging for the fences early.
Just trying to deliver that killing blow if they can. Won't happen just yet, though. As Miners still have a bit of freedom to work their way around this map and still have a good bit of progress to make. As you can see, Dots is picking up a good bit of information about what is happening above and where it is happening. But really no way to act on that information. The stairways, the flanks being kept a close watch on by this Miners attack. Someone like Levy can really just sit and watch that position while the rest of the team does the job elsewhere. They've got these hatches open, and the 60-second mark is approaching. this is when Miners made the move last time. Let's see if they're eager to do it again.
See a similar problem here for the Netshoes Miners. And there's the rotation to correct it, as they didn't have anyone outside of blue again, so Dots and Cameraman have had this freedom of mobility. Basetto taking damage as the Candelas ring out, but Basetto gets the first one onto Dash. The double drop down the box, Hatch in towards the E-box. The swing comes out from Cameraman. Loba takes in for 2, and Basetto's stuck inside of Harry Potter as he's being flamed off by his own asphyxiating bolt. There goes the swing from outside of blue. 2 quick ones with the P90, and now it's just Eskin alone in the 1v4. Dots will clean them all up, and Los will take map number 1.
It's Dots with 3 in the end, but a beautiful hold from Los and a surprise from Bunker that Miners were just not ready for.